Well, it doesn't matter if you drive a car, a truck, an SUV, an antique, a classic, whatever it is, all cars, they use oil.
And what do we know about oil? It has to be changed from time to time. One viewer is wondering about the frequency.
Yes, to help with that question and a few others, Peter Fink, he founded Certified Transmission. Good to see you, Peter.
Yeah.
Hey,
What, 35 years ago?
yeah, it's been a long time ago.
It's a great story. Would you remind us how you started Certified Transmission?
Well, you know, I was 19 years old and really had a hot rod car and blew a lot of transmissions. That's how I got started, and then actually kind of really enjoyed that. So I decided, well, I would like to do that as my career, okay, and stuff, you know. Before that, I worked at a dealership, okay, as a transmission guy. Really liked it and thought, nah, I think I can maybe do this on my own, you know.
And it's amazing how much you've grown.
Oh yeah,
over
definitely,
the decades.
definitely.
Cool.
Yeah, let's get to the first question. We got some questions for you.
Okay,
And
great.
Phil is up first, and Phil says, when I was younger, the rule was always get your oil changed every 3 months. With newer cars, I've heard you can go 6 months. Which is true?
Well, that's a great question, okay, and stuff, and obviously newer cars are designed better, okay. Fuel injection has really made a big difference because with a carburetor, you could actually wash down the cylinders and it would get in the oil, the gasoline, and it would make the oil a lot weaker and not really be oil anymore. It'd be partially broke down because of the gasoline's in there. Fuel injection doesn't do that, okay. Next, the technology of the oils have really improved drastically, probably as much as the engines have, okay? Between the two, I don't even know that you got to do it every 6 months, okay, and stuff, all right? It really isn't even based on months anymore. It's really more on mileage than it is on months, okay? The average they used to say is people drove 1,000 miles a month, okay? So you're supposed to do 3,000 miles or 3 months, okay? Well, if you don't drive very much, okay, you didn't have to do it every 3 months, so even 6 months, okay? If you don't have 6,000 miles on it, probably don't need to do it. A lot of the new cars also will have an indicator to tell you when the oil is kind of breaking down and changing colors that it needs to be changed, okay? So truthfully, I wouldn't use mileage and or the time period anymore, okay? I would use when the car tells you it's time for an oil change, okay, and stuff. The meters are set up and they'll monitor the oil and it'll tell you when to change it, so.
Kristen is up next,
Okay.
and she says, for the first time this winter, I'll be driving an all-wheel drive SUV, a 2014 Dodge Journey, instead of a four-wheel drive SUV. What's the difference? What difference will that make when it comes to snow?
Okay, another great question. A lot of new cars, the manufacturers are going to all-wheel drive cars. And all-wheel drive means you don't have to push the button anymore to make sure if it's in two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, okay? It's all the time in basically four-wheel drive. Now they've got sophisticated systems in the transfer case and the front differentials that might release the clutches inside the one or the other that it doesn't really use all four-wheel drive during summertime, okay, when the weather is really nice. But if it detects any kind of slippage through the ABS system, then it's going to turn the power to a different wheel, okay, and make it go. So you don't have to do anything anymore, okay? It's really 100% automatic, okay? No pun intended with automatic, okay? But on a four-wheel drive, once it was in four-wheel drive, really there wasn't any difference, okay? But you just don't, as an operator, have to push the button or pull the lever anymore and say, I want to be in four-wheel drive. It's all the time available on the fly. So anytime, regardless if it's rain or corner or sand or something or gravel on a road, if it needs it, it's going to keep all traction on all four wheels.
Easy enough.
That's nice. Yeah,
Yep,
because
it really is a nice feature.
Because you don't want to burn the gas mileage if you don't need to in four-wheel
is
drive. So
That is correct,
without a doubt. All right, here's the next question. This one, it comes from, who is this from?
Ann.
Ann writes this question. Ann says, my 1999 Dodge Avenger makes a loud squeaking noise in the front end when I'm turning. Any idea what part that could be coming from?
Couple things come to mind. Obviously a 99 Avenger, depending upon what kind of service has been done to this, okay, or something. First things that I would be concerned about would be possibly the ball joints, okay, on stuff. When you start going around the corner, the ball joints could be shifting and popping, okay, but that's usually not a squeak, that's a pop, okay. But a 99, if they've never been replaced, chances are they are wore out, okay, and stuff. The first thing that really actually came to mind was the CV joints, okay, the axles themselves, the outer joint, if you're going around the corner, could make a clicking noise. It's not really a squeak, okay, okay? It's a clicking noise, okay? So again, the description didn't fit what I'm thinking, but at 99, the axles definitely could be bad. The last thing is my son actually drives an Avenger, a couple of years newer than that, since he was going to high school and then to college. I bought him an Avenger, and actually the bushings for the lower control arms actually went bad, and it was making that squeaking noise going around the corner. So I'm kind of thinking it might be the bushings, okay? But if you get it to a shop, they can check it all out. Usually there's going to be a minimal charge to check it out, okay? We don't do suspension at our shop, so I don't really think this should come to our shop. But your general repair mechanic can check this to see what it is. Shouldn't be too hard to find if it's doing it all the time.
You do transmissions.
Well, that's it. That's it. The old
Repair and
commercial. We don't
replace.
do tires,
Right.
okay, or
Nope,
suspension or
they
anything
do
like that.
transmissions.
Now we advise people when we see something when a car comes in. Okay, people think it might be a transmission, and we let them know, no, it isn't, and it's something else. But we usually refer them to a shop then.
5 area locations, and you're not in business for 35 years if you're not doing the job right at
There
the
you
right
go.
price, right? Online, it's omaha.certifiedtransmission.com. Thank you, Peter.
Peter,
We
Fink,
appreciate
thanks
it.
Always a great time.
Yeah, we'll see you
And
soon.
your question could be featured during our next visit with the crew from Certified Transmission. A few ways to get those questions to us. Email talkback@omahamorningblend.com. Visit our website and click on the Certified Transmission button, or leave questions on our Facebook wall.
Oh, yeah,